Hello, family members. Hope you're having a good day today. Today, I want to talk to you little bit about when you're mentally ill. It's not exactly easy to do things that other people expect you to be able to do easily, and that can really cause a lot of problems. And I wanted to talk about that today. So here we are. So, um, I have a hard time advocating for myself due to my chronic illness and due to some sort of like weird mental block I get on things. And because of the fact that I've got so much going on, I'm on honestly an insane no, I don't want to use that word like that. A unbelievable amount of medications every day. I didn't used to take daily medications until about 4 years ago. And now I am taking, let's see here, like in excess of a baker's dozen pills, maybe like 15 pills a day, every day. Very frustrating. And almost all of those, all except one, are prescription. And basically, all of them are like, well, the most important ones are the kind where you just cannot miss a dose. If you miss a dose, it's going to mess you up. And I keep having trouble getting refills on time. And it's for a combination of factors. Part of it is because, I have trouble getting things done, just in general. My fatigue, like I have these like mental blocks about doing certain tasks. Part of it is me. Part of it is me. But a big part of it is the way our prescription drug system works, where it's not like your doctor says, okay, you need these pills, and then you get those pills. You have to see if your insurance covers it, right? And I cannot tell you how many times I've been messed up because I asked for a prescription just a little bit too early. And then I was told that I couldn't get a refill because it was too soon. And then it's a problem. And see, the part of the reason that I'd want to get my prescriptions a little bit early is so that I make sure that there's no gap in time in between when I run out of one bottle to the next, right? And I'll just give you an example. My antidepressant. I realized last week that I was running low, and of course, it was like 2 days before the hurricane, and so I put in to get my prescription filled the day before the hurricane, and they just canceled it without giving me any notification whatsoever. And so I thought, I'm just waiting for it to be filled. It's just delayed because, we got all this stuff going on with the storm, whatever. Well, no, it was canceled. And I didn't find that out until like a day later. And then by then it's the weekend. And I paid like an exorbitant amount of money to have the prescription couried over to me because I know if I have to go pick it up, it just won't happen for several days. It just won't. That's just the way it works. And it was supposed to have arrived yesterday, and I just got it. And it's like early evening on Sunday. So I had like 2 full days without my antidepressant, and I was feeling pretty wild. I was feeling a little out of my head. And when that happens, it can get even harder if you're still. Luckily, I was at the point where I was really kind of breaking down that it was already at least in transit. I didn't need to take any further steps. But it's quite possible that if there had been further challenges, that I might have put it off even longer. Who knows? Because when you're feeling down and like, why does anything matter? It's really hard to motivate yourself and do things. And that is the ultimate problem, is that the system isn't set up to be very friendly to people like me that have a hard time getting things done. You know, I can't ask for my prescriptions too early, but if I ask for them like right on when I need them, it's often a problem and often takes me a couple of days to get them, and I end up having to deal without something. And, sometimes it's like my muscle relaxer, which that's something I don't have to take. If I don't take it, it's not going to cause me like withdrawal, but I'm going to have like muscle pain and spasms and it's going to hurt. It's going to be a little torturous. I have several different medications that are like that. If I don't take them every day, it's not going to give me withdrawal, but it's going to mean that I'm going to be in extra pain. I'm already in a lot of pain. And so it's kind of cruel to make it that hard for me to get my meds. And that's part of why I think people don't understand how difficult it can be when you have a mental illness, or you're neurodivergent and you need medication to treat your symptoms and improve your quality of life, and traits that are inherent to the condition that you have make it hard for you to like keep all your ducks in a row. And there's just no one looking over your shoulder who's going to make sure that it gets done, unless you have, someone in your life who is willing to do that. And, when you're like me, you live alone, and I don't have someone that I can just have go get stuff for me. Like, I just don't have that. Like, sometimes I do. Kimmy, why? Come here, baby. Come here. Come lay down. Come lay down. Sorry. She's just happy. But, it's a compounding thing. It's hard for us to stay on our meds. And then once you get off your meds, it's harder to be motivated to go back on them. I know a lot of people that are either neurodivergent or mentally ill that have prescriptions that they are supposed to take consistently every day, and it just doesn't happen because of the same reasons why they need the medication. And it's odd to me that these types of medications, people with our types of conditions, aren't treated any differently than somebody that has like, blood pressure medication that they take every day. And nothing else is going on in their life. They're all, organized, and they're going to work and they're doing things. And, here I am, chronically ill, dealing with like major depressive issues. And I don't think that it makes sense for the system to treat me like I'm that guy who just has one medication and everything about his life is like normal, you know. But that's the system that I must navigate. And when you're unable to advocate for yourself, that's tricky. It's tricky to be able to find a way to work through the system. And so what ends up happening is a lot of times people like me kind of fall through the cracks. Like, I think about a lot of the unhoused people that we see that are mentally ill. Well, I mean, it's an uncomfortable truth. We got rid of our asylum system, these horrible institutions, and replaced them with nothing. And so, where do a lot of those people end up? On the streets, you know? Our America's mental institute asylums are essentially our uh, the parks and under bridges and wooded areas on the outskirts of town, where people who have medical conditions, mental health conditions that they couldn't manage, end up squatting because they have no other option. Like, we really let people down in this country when they're mentally ill. There's just not any system in place to provide the kind of support that we need. And it's just really frustrating when, you say, okay, my leg is broken. And they say, all right, we can fix that. You just need to walk over here. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you're doing when you make the mental health system so difficult to navigate for people who are already, like mentally ill, medically fragile, not able to necessarily advocate for themselves the way that they they would like to. And it's just unbearably frustrating to me that it's like, all right, here we are. We're America. We're the greatest country in the world. You've worked all these years. You paid into the disability system. We're going to make sure that you're taken care of when you have a disability. But you have to jump through a million quadrillion hoops to do that. It's like a full-time job that they expect you to be able to, like, do all this stuff, manage all these things. You have to, because it's not just about your, like, paperwork for the SSI or your interview with SSI. You have to be going to all these other doctors. You need to give them records. You need to do this and this. You need, like, a medical secretary, I swear to you, to be able to pull this off. And if I were able to work, I wouldn't need this. So it's like, here, do all these things that you can't do anymore so that we can help you out because you can't do those things anymore. And I'm like, do you not see that there's a problem here? It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating how people like me, people who are struggling because of, mental health issues or their, neurodivergence or whatever, people who need support. The only way to possibly get that support is things that you would need support to be able to get. We're just like caught in this catch-22. And, the other day I started watching the John Oliver disability issue, and I just couldn't finish watching it because it's just, to me, it missed the point. The point is not that it's hard to get through the system. The point is that the system is designed to fail. Like, they're hoping you'll stop, that you'll bounce off, that you'll die, that you'll end up living on the streets before they have to pay you, because that on the balance sheet looks better. The less people they pay, the better. And it's just cruel. It's just cruelty. It's just saying, we don't care about you at all. And if you die, that's actually beneficial to us. So why would be motivated to actually make this easier or help you? And I'm not talking about like the people who work on the front lines in the system. They probably mean very well, but I'm talking about the people who make the decisions about how the system works, how the system is funded. That's the most basic problem right there, is the whole thing is underfunded. And I just don't think you can call yourself the greatest country on earth when you have people who end up living on the streets. And we know this. This is a common known problem. People who were veterans and had horrible trauma in the name of serving this country end up living on the street because they are mentally ill and unable to function in society and get the support that they deserve. And that's just a problem that we're just like, well, we know it's a problem and we want to fix it, but it's not like stop the presses. We got to do everything until this is fixed. And that's, to me, is just bonkers. Absolutely wild. I cannot believe it. These jingoistic, patriotic freaks, these nationalists, are this cruel and uncaring to the soldiers that they want to say are these great patriots, the soldiers that make this great sacrifice for the country. And oh yeah, we love our country, but the people who give the most to it, well, who cares about them? It's very frustrating. There's nothing that you can do. There's no level of service that you can do to your community or your country that people are not going to necessarily treat you cruelly if you have a mental illness. There's nothing you can do. There's no level of good enough that you can be, important enough that you can be, where mental illness isn't going to be something people are going to look down on you for and think it's okay for you to suffer because of it. And that's just not, that's not fair. It's not right. It's not Christian. If you want to be a Christian, that's very unchristian. I mean, it's not right. And I think we could do better as a country. I think that we need, in a lot of the ways that we have emergency rooms for physical illness, we need that kind of thing for mental illness. We need long-term solutions for housing for people who are mentally ill and have a difficult time maintaining their own household because of that mental illness and don't have a family to do all that for them, okay? We need to make sure that people can't fall through the cracks. If people are falling through the cracks, then we're failing as a nation. And we can do better than this. And that's all I want. I want us to do better. So, sorry about the kind of wildness with Kimmy here, but she absolutely needed cuddles. And maybe she thought that I did too, because it's kind of a tough topic. And maybe she just wanted to be emotional support. So, hope that didn't bother anybody, the jankiness there. But I hope you guys have a great day. Take care of yourselves and the people around you, and, pet your dog.